Hello everyone, this is Nizam Mahmood. Welcome to my video. In this video, we'll cover Windows PowerShell and PowerShell scripting. There will be two videos on these topics, PowerShell Part 1 and PowerShell Part 2. PowerShell Part 1, I'll discuss the most used commands and scripting command that we use in our day-to-day IT practice. So let's start. So first of all, what actually PowerShell means to us? PowerShell is an object-oriented programming language and interactive command line shell developed by Microsoft. So it is just like other programming languages such as Java, C++, C#. Those are object-oriented programming. Similar like that, PowerShell also has this programming capability. So as it has a programming capability, if you compare like a Unix shell scripting or Microsoft DOS, batch processing, automation processing, PowerShell has much more capability. So that is one of the major reasons that it is one of the famous scripting technology that is used by most of the IT professional, system administrator, developers, DevOps professional. Nowadays, almost every development based on DevOps. So DevOps means CI/CD pipeline. So all kind of automation process can be developed using the PowerShell script. So PowerShell comes with two modules. One is just like a prompt, like a command prompt. And another thing we call PowerShell ISC. ISC stands for Integrated Scripting Environment. So this is a kind of a more graphical, so that make when we run the script, it has two windows, and on the top we can run the code, and the second window it shows the outcome of that code. So that is called ISC environment. So all the command within the PowerShell we call cmdlet. In other words, we can say commandlet. So this is a lightweight command used in PowerShell environment. PowerShell invokes those cmdlets into command prompt. And this cmdlet has a syntax. It is a noun dash verb, verb dash noun, and separated by an hyphen. So most of the PowerShell command, if you look the syntax, it will start with verb. So as an example, get, start, out, stop, set, new. So these are all verb. So get means get something, start means to run something, out means to output to somewhere, some places or some files. Stop, set, I want to set some parameter. This is we will be using set command here. And new means to new something. We can create a new file, new folder. In that type of scenario, we'll be using the command new. So it is like a two, like a word here, right? One is verb dash, another word is noun. So that's the syntax of the PowerShell. So now, as I mentioned earlier, that PowerShell has a scripting capability, and so it is a scripting language, and PowerShell is commonly used for automating management of system. It is also used to build, test, and deploy solution, often in CI/CD pipeline, that is in the DevOps platform. And so it is built in. Microsoft has a framework called .NET framework, and that .NET framework we call Common Line Runtime (CLR). So PowerShell actually run on the top of that .NET framework and take the capability of the CLR, and all input and output are .NET object. And the PowerShell features, if you look the feature point of view, because it is basically running on the top of .NET framework, so it is extensible through function, classes, script, and modules, extensible formatting system, easy output. We can easily, filtering our output the way we want to present. A lot of parameters are available. Extensible by type of creating the dynamic types, and we can also send the output to in a different format, like a CSV format, JSON format, or even XML format. So these are all built-in functionality is within the scripting language. And the PowerShell automation platform, as I said, this is mostly used for automation. So different technology using this automation benefit, like a Microsoft, there are hundreds of Microsoft technology. In each of these technology, if we want to automate, we can easily use PowerShell. Microsoft Azure, cloud platform, Windows, Microsoft Exchange, Microsoft SQL Server. These are all Microsoft like a technology, right? For example, if I'm a database administrator, I'll be using SQL. So all the day-to-day activities, like I want to create a user, I want to create a backup job, all those activities we can easily accomplish running the PowerShell command. And of course, PowerShell has an integration with the third-party tool, like for example, Amazon AWS, VMware, Google Cloud. So if I have a if I using AWS platform and my technology is there, I have a virtual machine there, or I have a let's say my database is running in AWS, I can easily make an integration with AWS from using my PowerShell script. So this is the beauty of this PowerShell. It is now very robust. It is using almost every Windows platform. Okay. Now, as it is a widely used, so by default, to execute a script, so Microsoft make it restricted by default. So if you have a laptop today, if you open PowerShell there, you will see you will not able to run any script because for the security reason they make it restricted. So that execution policy, there are 4 policies here, as you can see here: restricted, all sign, remote sign, and unrestricted. So by default it's restricted. So how you can know what is the current execution policy on your laptop? Look, if you run get that execution policies here, you see that get equal to verb, right? Dash noun, noun equal to execution policy. So almost all PowerShell command is following this set, the verb dash noun. So by default it is restricted. So now let's say I want to make it, I'm a developer, I'm a DevOps engineer, or I'm a network administrator. I need PowerShell to be run. I mean, it's scripting. I want to run the PowerShell script, so I want to change the policy. To change the policies, look, set execution policy. So I can say set execution policy, let's say all sign, or set execution policy remote sign, or set execution policy unrestricted. Okay. So and then these are the like a top PowerShell basic command. There are so many hundreds of different commands available in PowerShell. But as let's say I'm a beginner, so I just want to learn PowerShell. These are the commands that we can start with. And as I said earlier, you see the most of the syntax are verb dash noun. Get help. It is like every command. Let's say you want to know the details of any command. It is so you can say get help. Then it will show you the details or manual of that command. If you are familiar with the Unix command, you see there in Unix we run a command called man manual. So man, let's say there is Unix command man ls. If I say man space ls, it will give me the details of the ls command. So similarly, if I want to know any command details, we can say get dash help space that command. So let's say as an example, there is a command here called get service. But under this command, there might be a lot of other parameters, and I do not need to memorize those things. I just say get dash help space get dash service. So it will give me all the details about get dash service command. So this is the way we write our code. So anyway, so now I think as we understand the overview of PowerShell, so now let's talk how I can open the PowerShell from my computer. So as it is a Microsoft utility, Microsoft already install and configure within the operating system. So if you use any Microsoft operating system, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 7, from the server point of view, let's say Windows 2008, 12, and then 16, 19, 22, or any, regardless of the Windows operating system, it will be installed almost all Microsoft operating system. You just need to open it from. So let's do the demo. So if I now click my search option, and over there if I type PowerShell, and then if I right click, run as administrator, you see that it will open like this way. So this is the prompt, and then from that prompt I can see how the PowerShell look like. So the beauty of this command shell here, I can run most of the DOS commands. So if you are familiar with the DOS commands, so any DOS command you can easily execute here. Let's say if I type dir command to see the listing, how many subfolder under my system32, it will execute it and it will show me all the item. Similarly, let's say I'm a Unix guy, I type Unix is ls command. So ls command will show me all the folder under that subdirectory. I mean, whatever the directory I have, under that folder, how many subdirectories are sitting down, it will show me the same thing. So it is actually, if I'm a Windows, I like Windows command, so I type dir. If I am familiar with the Unix command, I type ls command. So PowerShell actually happy both the user here, right? But it is not neither Unix command, neither it is a the DOS command. They actually create some alias, but actual PowerShell command will be what is the child item on that particular folder. For example, if I say child, I think first we have to put some verb, right? So verb equal to, let's say, get, then child, child item, and it is a color coded, as you can see the yellow color. So get dash child item, which folder you want to see? This is, so I want to see all the subfolder under C, Windows, and let's say system 32, let's say. So I want to say, hey, tell me the subfolder under system 32 folder. So it will show the same thing. So now you say dir is DOS command, equivalent to ls in Unix command, and in PowerShell it is called get child item. Right? So this is the beauty, that you can compare the three utility that we need in our day-to-day activities, right? So dir, DOS command, get child item, PowerShell command, and the ls is the Unix command. All accomplish the same goal. So let's do some demo here. So let's say I want to create a project here. So I just cd dash and then I go to my command, like a C prompt, my root, my hard drive C folder. So now I want to create a lab. So let's say I can accomplish the md command. Let's say I want to create a folder called md. My folder name, let's say lab1. So this, as I mentioned earlier, I can run a DOS command here as well. So look, md command, it create a folder called lab1. So now how I can create a folder using PowerShell command. So here again, new dash item. Then item number, let's say my item equal to lab2. And then I say, okay, type equal to directory, DIRAC, your directory. So now it create a folder called lab2. So now the first folder I creating using DOS command, and second folder I use the PowerShell command called new dash item. Okay. So now if you want to validate, go to your C drive, and you see there are two folders, lab1 and lab2, right? Both folder is created here. So now I want to go to lab2. So let's say cd lab2. Now let's say I want to create a file under lab2. So to create a file using PowerShell command, again, same thing, new item, let's say file name equal to file1.txt, but here type equal to file. Before I say file equal to directory. Now I say file equal to file. Look here, this is same syntax, right? Type equal to directory, here I say type equal to file. So now it will create a file under lab2, and the name of the file will be the file1.txt. If you now go there and open the lab2, you see file1 is here. And if you double click, there is nothing because we didn't put any data. So it's a hello world. Let's put some language. Save it. Now this file, this lab2 file, the file1.txt file contains something. I want to view that file. What is the command? Get dash content. If if I say get dash content and the file name is file1.txt, it will tell me inside file1 what are the content. It's a hello world. Okay, so this is not really difficult to memorize. Is the verb dash noun. So now, so this is one way you can create a file. There are multiple ways you can create a file. So from the IT point of view, we can normally redirect the output of a command. So for example, if I type ipconfig/all, this is the DOS command to show my IP address. If I say, okay, this is my IP address, but I want to redirect this output, and create a new file called ip.txt. So I can complete the same thing here as well. So I now actually create a file called ip.txt with the output of the ipconfig/all command. So now I want to view inside of this. So if I type cls command, it will clean my screen. And then I type, okay, get content, get dash content, and then my file name equal to ip.txt, right? So it will show me what is inside of that file. Here you go. So similarly, like if I type system info, another nice command from the DOS. So it will show me my system information, what is the CPU, how much memory I have. If you go up, you see it will tell you almost everything. That here is hey, this is my host name, and this is I have an operating system, Windows 10 Pro. And then here it shows me my CPU information, how many CPU I have and what the model. And this is the memory, how much total memory I have. And this is the hotfix, how many Microsoft patches I have here, my network card information. So almost every, my system information here. So just one command, system info, right? I want to redirect and create a file called sys.txt. So now all those files is here. So now if I type ls, let's say, ls command, it will look, it is Unix command. It show me what is inside of lab2, right? Dir. If I type dir, almost same thing, right? So now, what is the Unix command? PowerShell command we learned before. Get child item, right? What is they call? We call get child item, right? So if we run the same command here, get dash ch child item, just run this command. So it is also show you that you have under lab2, you have file1, you have IP, you have sys.txt, right? So just to visualize and memorize this thing, you can compare these three utility like a DOS, Unix, and PowerShell. Then it will be easy to memorize, right? Get child item. Okay. So similarly, it has. If you now look those commands, we already talked. So let's say I want to know the details about like a get content command. So if I say get help, and my command is get content, right? So here, get help is the manual. It will give you the details about the get content command. So here you go. So you see that now you read, okay, what is get content command, and then synopsis, and then it give you the syntax. If we want to run all the parameters here, detail some description, and some knowledge about it. So if I want to, there's a know little bit details any command, the command is get help, right? Okay, great. So now let's move on. So now if I say, okay, there are service, get service, get dash service, service, it will show me all the services running in my system. So it is almost similar, like if you are familiar with the Windows technology, if you just search and just type services.msc, so this is a kind of a utility that how many services your system is running. Look, this is the similar thing, right? Some services you can see are running and status equal to some are running, some equal to, stop. These are not running, as you can see. The blank means it is not running, right? So, so from the programmatically, so I'm telling PowerShell, okay, tell me all the services running in the system. So just simple command get service. But now we can now parameterize this thing. We say, okay, now I'm interested only to see the running, which is only, let's say, running, not, or maybe I'm interested to see how many services are stopped. So to do this thing, we can filter the output. So filtering output is a very important parameter. So we are using, it is used in both DOS and Windows environment. So let's talk a little bit about, let's say the previous command that we type system info, right? So this is, let's say it tell me so many information, but I'm not interested of everything. Let's say I'm interested only to know my total physical memory, right? If I want to know this output, I can do the query using the filtering. So what I can do, I say, okay, system info, then pipe. This is piping or filtering. Then I say find command. Then find what? I said total physical memory, right? We have to make sure it is, you have to be, when you write the parameter, you have to use the syntax correctly. Look here, they use total T capital, physical P capital, and memory, and after memory there is a colon, right? We have to use the same thing. So now if I say here like this, look here, now it will show me only memory. So it is kind of a query. Now, you know, the query normally a database terminology. I have 10,000 customer, but I do not want to see all of them. I want to see only the people who live in New York. So I can run a query like that way. So similarly, system info give me a lot of information, but I say, no, I'm not interested of everything. I'm interested only total physical memory, right? So now if I can do one step further, I say, okay, now redirect mem.txt. So then I say, okay, redirect this output and create a new file called mem.txt. So now there will be a file called mem.txt under that lab2 folder. So if you now go and look mem.txt, and it contains the data of that output, right? So these all we can accomplish using PowerShell as well. So now let's say the get content. So now get service. Then I say, okay, I want to parameter, because normally, as you see, that when I run this command, it give me everything. I say, no, I'm not interested in all the services. I'm interested only the service which is running. So then we can use some like a filtering here, and one of the filtering will be where dash object. So where dash object, then I say, okay, we have to follow some syntax here. So there is this, curly bracket, then $sign. Then after $, we have to put underscore dot status. This is the syntax. You know, you don't need to memorize. You just go to Microsoft article. They'll give you this syntax. So $sign underscore dot status, then minus EQ, and EQ equal to, let's say I want to running, all the running services I'm interested to view, right? So this is the way. Now we say that where dash object, and I will status equivalent or equal to running. So let's see how it works. Here you go. You see right now, it give me only the running services, right? All those running service that running on my system. So basically, if I am a network administrator, I need this thing, right? For what, let's say I want to create a automation process, what service are running. So if I want, I can now redirect this thing. I can say, okay, running underscore service dot txt. I can keep this data to a file so that later on I can use it, right? So this is the beauty of PowerShell. You see how we can parameter it. Get service, then pipe. Pipe means filtering. Then where object is status equal to running, and we can even redirect the output and create a new file with this output. Okay. So similarly, like a get process. So it's a get dash process. So if I run this process, all the processes running to my system. How much? Look, if we go on the top, it will give you the, what is the process ID, how many CPU utilization, and what are the in the specific application using that process, all those things. It is almost similar to task manager. If you open the task manager in your Windows utility, so this is the task manager. It is almost telling you the same thing here. Okay, so this is the get process. So now let's, okay, now we know the get process, we know the get service, right? So now let's say we can even there is another called get event log. So let's say get dash event log. This will give you all the event log. So you say, okay, what type of event log you want? I say, okay, I'm looking for system event log. So this is the system event log. So it is all the event log that you have in your system. So it is similar, like if you type, as you know that Windows has a log collector. So if I type event viewer, this is the name of the utility called event viewer. And then under Windows log, you see that I have application log, I have a security log, I have a system log, right? But now let's say I'm a security guy, I want to collect all the system log. I say, okay, hey, and then just type system, right? And then redirect and put a file called system.txt, systemlog.txt. So I can do this thing, or maybe let's say I am not interested to not all this thing. I'm interested only like a last 1 hour kind of thing. So it's okay, dash. This is the beauty of this thing that I say, okay, dot newest, let's say, give me last newest 100 logs, right? Not everything, okay? And then I say, okay, give me then format. Give me a format, because right now you see that it is format dash list. I can say, okay, give me the list format. So now you see that it give me the list format, and it's not default one. You say now you say, okay, each of them, just take one of them from the top. So it give me only 100, then the top 100 item. And I can now say, okay, this is the index ID, event type is information, install this, message, this is the information, like a description of that event, right? This type of thing. So I can easily, let's say if I'm a security officer, I want to do some investigation here, and I'm looking for security audit log, right? So instead of just go down, what I can do, I say, okay, instead of system, we are not talking about security, right? Security is C-U-C-U-R-I-T-Y. Security, right? C-Q-R-I-T-Y. So now it will collect the 100 latest, newest 100 security log and just display me like this, right? And then if I want, I can redirect this file. Okay, C-Q-R-I-T-Y underscore log.txt. Right, so now it will create a log file, and then I can view that log file. Okay, so these are the basically we can format the system the way that we okay. So now so let's go back here. As we already cover most of that. Look, this is another one, convert to HTML. That is my one favorite one as well. So convert to HTML means like let's say I want to I'm developing a website or something, and I want to display that data in an HTML format. So this is another syntax that they have. So for example, if I type the command called get process, right? So if I say, okay, get process, get dash process, it will show you all the process, right? Oops, and it is spelling mistake, get process. Here is all the process are here, right? So now I say, okay, I want to convert this data into HTML. So I say, okay, pipe, and then I can say convert to HTML, convert to dash HTML. I think there is a dash here, HTML. So if I run this command, so it will be like a piping here, right? So pipe will be, you see, basically piping, you understand there are two commands basically here. One is get process, one is the get to convert to HTML. So the output of the first command will be the input of the second command. So now output, get process will give us the output, and then convert to HTML, go there and convert it to into HTML format. Okay. So if you run, look, this is an HTML format. You are getting output, but not the regular output. You are getting the output as a regular, as an HTML format, right? So now you say, okay, I want to redirect this output, and then you can say, okay, process.html. And you give a name so that it will now create a file for you, but it will be HTML file so that you can open that file in a browser. So let's give him little time. Here you go. So now if I go to my folder, look, it create a process.html. This is the guy. You see there is a browser icon. If you open it, it opens from the browser and it look like this, right? So this type of very strong parameter you will not see in any other scripting language. So that's why PowerShell, everybody like it, right? It is just beginning, when you go more and more inside it, there are so many programs, because let's say I'm a Java developer, I can do almost anything, whatever output my project wants, I can accomplish the goal writing the code. So now let's say I want to do like a programming something to do, I can easily accomplish the same thing using PowerShell command as well. But as a very basic point of view, now you are familiar how the commands look like, how they are running, and we learn almost all the basic command here. Okay. Okay, so I can run the CLS command to clean my screen. Okay, now let's talk about the PowerShell scripting. That is our main goal here. To run the PowerShell scripting, it is basically scripting means what? That let's say this scenario, I want to copy my files from one location to another location, and I want to do it every day. So normally scripting means automation. Automation means I do not want to do it manually every day. Just think a scenario. Let's say I'm a network guy, and I have to copy, let's say, hundreds of thousands of files from different source to my backup location, and I have to do it every day. So Monday I do the same thing, Tuesday. If I do it manually, number one, it will take a lot of time, it consumes my time, and number two, there is always a possibility that I do the mistake. Because we are human, sometimes we do the wrong typing, wrong spelling, etc., right? So that's the beauty, that how, if we now run the automation, automation will take some time to develop the script, but once it is done, then it will be easy to run. Okay, so to do the PowerShell scripting here, we have to open an editor. So let's say I open a notepad or something like that, type our command there, but I have to save it as a .ps1 extension and then execute it. So let's say as in this scenario, let me see in my computer. So let's say in my C drive, I have lab 1 and lab 2, right? And lab 1 has empty, correct? Yeah, lab 1 is empty. But let's say lab 2 has some files. So now I want to copy everything from lab 2 to lab 1. Or maybe let's say we create a folder here called backup. So what I'm doing is cd dash, I can say md backup. Let's say I create a folder called backup, and I want to copy everything from from lab 2 to backup folder, or maybe lab 1 to backup folder. So right now lab 1 is empty, correct? So lab 1 is empty. So why don't I copy some file? Let's say just copy some file in under lab 1 so that lab 1 will not be empty. Or I can run the command from the prompt as well, right? Okay, so now if I want to run a shell script, PowerShell script, and I open a notepad, I type my command. So if I using like a PowerShell command, copy dash item. This is the PowerShell command. Copy command. It is equivalent to copy in DOS. So in DOS, let's say if you type here copy command, and in Unix we call cp command. So both of them are accountable to copy the data from one folder to another folder, or from one location to. But in PowerShell, there is called copy item, COPY dash item. So if you type this command, copy dash item, from, let's say, you can say, okay, I want to copy everything, your source. You say, okay, my source equal to c:/lab2. And from lab 2, I put a start.star. This is my source. Start.star means copy everything. To where? To space my target. My target, let's say c:/lab1. This is my target. So if I run this command, and then if I say, okay, I think there is a parameter. So let's say if I run this command, so now you see that lab1, all the data from lab 2 will go to the lab1. So if you now go to lab 1 folder, here you go. So lab 1, he actually basically copy everything from lab 2, right? So let's say now lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, we have hundreds of this type of folder. Now I want to copy everything to my backup folder. How to do that? So we can easily account. So now is a copy item, my source equal to c:/lab1/start.star, and where I'm going to copy will be c:/backup folder, right? Similarly, I want to copy everything from my lab 2 folder, so I copy this line and then paste it here and just say, okay, copy everything from my lab 2 folder to my backup folder, because backup folder is my target. So this way, let's say it's a real world scenario. I want to copy this thing, like I have lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, this way I have hundreds of folders, and each folder contains, let's say, hundreds of files. And every day manually I'm doing this thing. But now I can easily save my time and I'm creating this script. So I open a notepad, I type off whatever I am normally manually typing, I type it here. When I'm done, then I save it. File, save as. So let's say I want to save this file to my script folder. So I create a folder called script, so that I know that all my scripts sitting down in this folder. And then I give the file name called, let's say, backup.ps1. So here is the like a mandatory thing. Any PowerShell script, the extension will be .ps1. If you are familiar with the DOS, we grab backup.bat, bat. In Unix, normally we use called backup.sh. So every extension matters here. So now when I say backup.ps1 and save as file, I click all files. So now my files under the script folder will be saved as backup.ps1. There you go, it's saved now. So now I want to execute it. So before I execute it, let me clean my backup folders just for make sure it is empty. Yeah, so you see the backup folder is empty. So once if it is run, then backup folder will be, all the data will be now under backup folder as well, because, right? So what I do now, I go to cd script, I go to script folder, I type ls or c2, what is inside. It's under script folder, you have a file called backup.ps1. I want to run it. How to run a PowerShell command? Script / file name backup.ps1. So now remember, it is exactly the same syntax when you run the Unix shell script, / file name. So here my file name is backup.ps1. PS means PowerShell, right? Power. So if I now execute, my expectation that it will run this command. Here you go. So once it is done, so it is complete what he did. Let it do valid. Look, backup folder now has the files. This file now copied over from those source to here. So this is the beauty of the how to develop the PowerShell script. So let's recap what to run a PowerShell script. What we need to open an editor. In this case, Notepad. Microsoft all operating system has this editor. We open a Notepad, type the command, save it .ps1 extension, and all files. So remember, this is the tricks here. If you do not click all files, it will save as. You have to make sure that this save as type create all files. Otherwise, it is a notepad. Otherwise, it will create .txt at the end of the file. So to avoid it, you say all files, give the name and the .ps1. Okay, and then come to the command prompt or PowerShell prompt. Go to that location and type /file. It will execute for us. Okay. So now we also learn how to develop PowerShell script as well. So now if you want to, let's say, a little bit more programmatic, now we are starting the programmatic point of view, right? I want to run it develop a variable, and I want to pass the parameter under those variable, etc. So in basically any programming language, variable is a concept, like it is a kind of a container, or it is a space inside the memory. So developer, when they write the code, they say x equal to 10. So x equal to x here, x equal to is a variable name, and the value of this x equal to 10. So it is actually running inside the memory. So memory is a kind of a hardware component, as you know. So developer when they run something, they create lots of variable, and every variable has a data type, just like a Java and other programming. So let's say this X. So this X is what type of variable it is? It is a integer type. It is a like a character type. It is a date type, currency type. So every variable has a data type. So for example, if I say X integer X equal to 10, so I'm telling computer, hey, my variable name is X and it is integer type. Integer means it will contain integer value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, right? So that's we can declare those type of variable here as well. So let's do some demo here. So to save my time, I already have some script for you. So let me go to those scripts. I think I keep it in another folder here. So yeah, so this is the, let's say if I open a in a notepad, this one open with notepad. So here is the thing. Look, this is a nice programmatic, very basic script. And to run a professional script within PowerShell, like let's say I use, this is the pound sign or hat sign, the prompt the user, this is a comment. Let's say it will not execute by the command, by the PowerShell. So it is always a best practice. We give some comments so that other people understand what is the meaning of this line. So I say, okay, look, I declare a variable. To declare a variable in PowerShell, we have to use the $sign. The $name equal to something. So then I say, okay, $name equal read host. Read host equal to this is a, I'm telling PowerShell that, hey, whenever what to read, enter your name. So when people put some name, he will read that name, whatever, let's say I put Nizam, he will take that data and put under this variable. So now $name equal to now actually Nizam. Then I said I declare another variable called $age. And I say it will prompt, when I run this script, it will prompt to enter my age. Whatever age I put, let's say 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, it will read host command will read that data, he'll keep that data and put that data under the age variable. So now age equal to that value. So I have now two variables. One is $name, it will keep the name of the whatever the input, and then $age equal to age. Now I'm programming. It's okay now. If, look, this is the if-else programming language. If $is greater, G means greater than or equal to 18. If this condition satisfy, then write host. Look, it is a read host, means read the data. Write host means write the data. Show me, display me. What to display? Hello, $name. $name is whatever name it is. You are an adult because you are, it is, you are greater than or equal to 18. Or if the value, whatever the age, let's say age equal to 17. So so now age is like a 17 is not greater than 18, right? Or it is not equivalent to 18. So that it will now follow the second condition. The hello, you are a minor. So that's the way the logic works. Because I give him a condition, I say, hey, it is a if else stand. If either one condition will satisfy. Are you greater than 18 or no? If it is yes, show me you are adult. If it is no, then you are a minor. That's the way programming logic works. Okay. So to run this script, let's say I have this code, and again you have to, it is a very minor thing. You can easily practice on your own. Open a notepad. So if we follow our formula, it's okay. Open notepad. Type the command here. I'm just skipping my time just to save the video length. So here you can see read host equal to this, then read age this, and I make a logic if and else. Look the syntax. If, then whatever the condition you put, then there is a curly bracket, and that curly bracket you say what you want, and then curly bracket close. You see there is a curly bracket close here. Then else, right? Then you make an else. So if it is this condition doesn't satisfy, if it is not true, okay, true and false. If it is true, then show me this. But if it is not true, then else. Then show me this. Okay, so either one, definitely either it will show me this one or that one, correct? So this is the, so I now save it, and now save it like, okay, age validation, right? Age validation dot ps1. I give a name, age validation dot ps1, and then all parts. Or you can give any name, right? As, in this case, I say age validation dot ps1 under a skip folder. I save it there, right? Save it. Now I go to the prompt and I run it from there. So here, oops. So nice, okay. I'm here. Now I type ls command to see that my file, you see that age validation.ps1 there. Then how to run it, we already learned, right? Dot slash age validation, right? So even I do not need to type it. Look here, this is the beauty. If I type dot slash and just type age and just press tab button, it will automatically, you know, typing for you. Okay. So now age validation.ps1, if I run it, look here, it's giving me a prompt. Hey, enter your age. I say my name is Nizam. Then he say, oh, you are an adult. Oops, why you are an adult? He said, okay, I think because he didn't ask me the age, so definitely I have to check the code. So age validation, okay. Display the age. Okay, so I think display the, I have to tell him age equal to what. So I think I missed this thing. From age, read host, enter your age. Enter your age. Where is my name here? Hello name. I think I missed something here. Just show me here. If I type here, enter your name, right? Enter for the name. And then I say name. Read the enter your name, right? Then it should ask me two questions. Hey, what is your name and what is your age? Then I say if the age is greater than 80, then you are adult. Okay, now let me write it down because I think when I copy and paste, I missed something. Okay, so let's run it again. So just press up arrow. So it's enter your name. I say my name is name. Enter your age. I say my age is 50. Now it will say, hey, you are an adult. Okay. So now you see how it. That's now I say, okay, I run it again. It's enter your name. I say my name is Mama. He said, what is your age? I said, my age is 70. He said, you are a minor. So that's the way programming logic works. It is exactly same programming capability that we use Java, C++, C#, all other. That's why PowerShell is an object-oriented programming language. It can run almost every program here as well. So this is a very basic script that I showed you, but in the real world, definitely it will be much more other way. Okay, so this is one example. So let's say, let me show you another backup. Basically, backup one is one of the famous one, right? People used to back up file from one location to another location. So let me show you another nice backup programming thing. Here, what we have done, I say, okay, the folder source. So source, so let's say I say source equal to lab1 as an example. My source equal to lab1. And my backup folder will be like a whatever, like my destination will be folder target backup, and I put some timestamp here. So what time I'm doing backup, and it will show all those stuff. Then I say, okay, log. I also can create a log folder so that I can understand backup was successful or not. Then I say, okay, here, so here is the create a target folder. It will create a target folder on the path from the path where I'm running this command. It will create a folder for me. And then I say, okay, there is a command called robocopy. So robocopy actually is a DOS command, same idea like copy command. So I say robocopy source and target. So here robocopy $source means, there is a $source means it is basically $source means lab1. Copy everything from log because this folder, I make a variable called $folder source. So it's okay. Copy everything from this location to this destination location and create a log file. Okay. So now if I run, let's say Control S, Then I make a notepad, I open a notepad, right, I save it here, and then I save as, let's say backup .ps1, right, and all files, right. So under a script folder, I have now age validation, I have a backup, I already have a backup, so let's make it given a different name, let's say backup, just type BK, right, backup, just short language of backup, PS1, okay, good. So now if I go to here, I'm running here, right, so it's okay. Just type ls command to see the all your script is here now, no? There you go. So you say there is a file called backup.psm. / bkup.pso. So our expectation, it will create using robocopy command, it will back up the lab1 folder to a destination location and with the log string. Here you go. So now you can say, yeah, hey, I create a folder for you called backup something. See that here under C drive. And so now if I go to my C drive, and he said, look, he created this folder for me called backup. Look, timestamp, right? 2022, blah, blah, blah. Sometime if I open it, look, it is the data. Under data, you see that all the backup, all the lab1 file now here, correct? Also, it created a log file. If we open this log file, you can say, oh, there is the robocopy file. I started this time, and this is the command that I executed, and finally, this is now very professional look like, right? So now, how many files copied, how many files skipped, how many files failed, look, fail equal to 0. So now if I'm a network guy, let's say I am copying from hundreds of different locations to my target location. So it is little professional writing script, right? So if you go back to that script, it's not really very hard script. You just say, okay, what you are copying, source, target, and you put some timestamp, and robocopy command is more professional utility that to copy the data from one location to another location. Okay. So Microsoft has this, like we can use new item command if we want. I mean copy item, or you can use in copy command, right? In Unix, we normally use cp command. But here, robocopy, xcopy, these are the very powerful utility that we use. Either we use robocopy or xcopy, both are very famous to copy the data, the folder and the subfolder and the everything under that data. And there are a lot of parameters. So for example, if you open a command prompt and just DOS prompt here, just type cmd. One of my favorite command is always is xcopy, right? Very widely used command called xcopy command. It is a, so if you now type xcopy and then a space question mark, it will give you the manual of xcopy. Look, they have a lot of switches here, right? And if you read this data, you will really develop a nice command. And similarly, if you type robocopy and / question mark, it will give you all the robocopy syntax and parameters as well. So basically, these are like a built-in DOS utilities or DOS command, but we can accomplish within the PowerShell. Because as I said earlier, that most of the IT administrative people, as PowerShell is there, we can combine. Let's say I'm using robocopy, maybe I can use another parameter that will not work in DOS command, right? So I can still using DOS command within PowerShell, plus I use PowerShell native commands as well to make it more programmatic. Okay, so that's why it is getting more familiar nowadays. Okay, so just like other programming language, like say if I want to, so I want to run a more programmatic thing. Let's say I want to now we just saw if else statement, right? There is also another command like a for loop, right? Very famous thing. For I declare a variable called I equal to 1. Then I say I $i is less than 5 and I plus plus. And then I say, okay, write host iteration $i. This is a any programming language, like if you are learning Java program or say we need this type of looping, right? So what we are telling computer, hey, I declare a variable, the name of a variable equal to I, and its first value equal to 1. So you do the looping, How long? Until the middle condition, until I is less than 5. And then every time you increment 1. So first time when you run this command, write host to show me the data of I. So I will become the first will be 1. Then it will again go to the loop. Then second will be I plus plus means I plus 1. So as the first variable equal to 1, so it will show me 1. The second time it will be 1 plus 1, 2. Then 2 plus 1, 3. Then 3 plus 1 equal to 4. But then when the last time it's a 4 plus 1, 5. But 5 is not less than 5. It will break. So actually it will show you 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So if you want to run this script, let's see how it works. So if you open a similar idea, you open a notepad, right? And then save it and just give a name. Let's say for loop .ps1. Same idea, right? And click all files under the script folder. Now if you go here and just type ls command to see, you see the for loop is here, /for loop .ps1, and look here, it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If you want to, just if you go there again and just say, okay, now I want to increment until 100, right? If you say until here, and then save it, and then just run it again. Now your expectation, it will show me 100 here, right? So all the up to 100, right? So that's the way the looping, how the looping works. So we just learned 2 programmatic capability. If else statement, I create a variable that is called age, and then I say if age is less than or greater than this, if it is true, show me this or show me that, right? So let's say if in the real world point of view, let's say you are you want to withdraw money from your ATM machine. So let's say they have a logic, the bank create a logic that the minimum balance should be $100, right? So today you need money, you go to the ATM machine. So now your balance, let's say now you have $160. So you put the ATM machine and say, okay, I need $80 to take out. So when you take out, money is not coming. So what happened? You got a message because they have a logic over there. The minimum balance will be 100. So now they run, if the balance is less than 100, then show me this error message. Or if it is more than $100, then give him the money, right? You just give an error message if that logic violate. That means it must be $100 must be there, right? So that's how the logic works in the programming world. So PowerShell, we can complete the same thing here as well. So I think this is all about today. I'm bringing the PowerShell part 2. I will bring more capability over there. So as an example, Microsoft, especially if I'm a network administrator or I'm a cybersecurity officer, I can run the query against of Active Directory. And I can run, if I'm a database administrator, I can run the query of my SQL Server database. If I am a Microsoft Azure, let's say a platform engineer or DevOps engineer, I'm a developer, I want to run my CI/CD pipeline and in Azure. So all those modules are available within PowerShell. So that's why it is called PowerShell Automation Platform. But those are little advanced level. So if you now practice whatever I just mentioned in this part 1 video, then you'll be ready to understand the part 2. So that's it, folks, for today. See you in my next video. Thank you.